Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of the viewers from around the world. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of correlation and regression, we have a lot of things to talk about. But since the market action so far in the day has been rather tepid, most of the financial instruments, whether you look at the forex segment of the market or equity indices, in that sense, we didn't really see any strong moves happening on either side. More or less you can say that the range has been rather narrow compared to last couple of days, and in this scenario, as we are getting nearer to the start of the North American trading session, we will see how things are shaping up and what are the takeaways using which we can figure out the opportunities to trade in these markets. So let us now head to the JForex 4, the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the EURUSD chart drawn on the 5-minute candlestick time frame. I have added this range of last 2 hours. This Donchian channel 24 represents 2-hour range, and Donchian channel 48 represents 4-hour range. Along with that, I have this SMA line 12, which is the hourly moving average, and SMA line 24, which is the 2 hourly moving average in place to look at the price action and then figure out the opportunities to trade with. Now, looking at this Euro USD's chart, as I said in my introductory remarks also, the price action so far in the day has been rather tepid. If we start earlier in the day during the Asian trading session, the low was made at 1.048, and afterwards the Euro USD climbed around 40 to 50 pips on the higher side. Again, all those gains evaporated, and by the time of start of the the European trading session, we were back to the square one, and then again the climb happened, and more or less the Euro USD got back to its prior swing high, just a little bit on the higher side. Now, I think moving forward also, there is not much of a possibility of strong moves happening in today's session. We don't really have any major reason to see increased volatility unless any important statement or any release comes in, for which the chances are low. We have to live with these range bound moves, and in that context we have to plan our strategy to trade with. Now, if we have to figure out the momentum, whether this Euro USD is providing us the best opportunity or not on buy side, or for that matter, if you are bearish on the major currencies and bullish on the major currencies, in that scenario also you have to determine if the Euro USD is the best bet or not. So for that, we will of course have to do the comparison. Relative strength and weakness has to be gauged, and accordingly then we will be in position to make the assessment and trade. Now, looking at the Euro USD chart, so far it has made these high highs and high lows after this low at 1.0476. So moving ahead also, I am expecting this immediate swing low to hold unless there is any significant move on the lower side. More or less we can expect this immediate swing low to hold, and in course of time we can even expect the Euro USD to climb back toward this immediate swing high, which is there around 1.053. Now, if we have to look at the relative strength and weakness of the Euro USD, first thing we have to do is compare it with the all non-USD major non-USD currencies, and so we will be comparing the currency crosses like AUDUSD, GBP NZD USD, Euro USD, along with the crosses where the Euro USD is the first currency, like USD CHF, USD JPY, and USD CAD. So let's consider one by one, starting with the AUD USD. The momentum is rather weaker in the AUD, even in comparison to the euro. It made this 4 hourly low at 10:30 GMT. Afterwards, it has also climbed. But now, if we compare it with the Euro USD's price action, the euro is showing consolidation on the higher side. It has been able to hold on to most of the gains it has accumulated in last couple of hours. But for the AUDUSD, it is not far off from the day's low, the immediate swing low, if not the day's low, and that is something to be kept in mind here. For the AUDUSD, also the range has been fairly narrow. If we change this chart to the hourly time frame, so here we get this idea on the hourly time frame where the price moves are rather narrow. The range is rather narrow, so you can say that today is the day of the consolidation. There is no significant price move so far in the day, but of course, in anticipation of the coming big move, we will have to figure out what are the chances and on which side. So moving ahead, I think the momentum is still bearish, and this consolidation can be counted as the part of larger bearish move which had happened earlier in last trading session, and now it is simply a fact of simply maybe a matter of time before we see the resumption of the downward spiral again for the AUD USD. So in that context, we do have to be careful. In yesterday's session, I had also said that AUD is one of the weakest, most bearish currency against the dollar, and as a result of that, it went on to decline more than 100 pips from these levels on which we were talking about in the last session. Now that AUD is holding closer to this consolidation phase high, immediate swing high, I think we have to start looking for the opportunities to go short in the AUD USD, and for that we can always rely on this immediate swing high of around 0.6745, which can be utilized to optimize the entry points. Now, as the momentum is looking slightly bearish, it is more of a consolidation phase, but larger momentum, larger time frame momentum is of course on the bearish side. So keeping that in mind, as things stand, if we don't really get any major move beyond the 0.6745, then I think we will have many more reasons to go short in the AUD USD in next couple of hours. If we see the AUD USD holding to this range and consolidating below this immediate swing high, as it is looking more bearish than the Euro USD, we will have to give first preference to shorting the AUD USD instead of Euro USD. Euro USD is more inclined on the upward momentum, upward side. In yesterday's session, also we saw that it was one of the best performing currency against the dollar before this eventual decline happened. But for it, the decline has been rather shallow, and that strength is also being visible in today's price action, where it has continued to consolidate while also accumulating some of the gains of around 40-50 pips on the higher side. So here it is not really looking like the currency which you can short against the dollar, and as we have better choices with us in the form of AUD or any other currency, as we get the confirmation in place. We have the GBP/USD also slightly stronger on the bearish side compared to the Euro USD, but of course we have to see whether the AUD is more bearish or the GBP is more bearish. In that context, we will have to look at the timeline of this formation of the highs and lows. Here, the high for the AUD was formed at 1440 GMT. Prior to that, the low was formed at 1030 GMT. Now let's go back to the charting of GBP/USD. The GBP/USD made this low quite later in the time at 1250 GMT, and this high 1440 GMT. The highest time is almost the same, but prior to that, if you look at the GBP/USD's decline, I think the scale is tilted on the GBP side by magnitude as well as by the timing of these price action. So it is better if we keep first preference for the GBP USD even ahead of the AUD USD. Let's see what's the development for NZD USD. NZD USD made this low quite early in the day at 9:10 GMT. Afterwards, it started to climb, and it is looking like more of a pair of the Euro USD, which is also showing the bias on the bullish side. Of course, the larger time frame picture still looks bearish, but compared to the AUDUSD and NZDUSD, things